Good morning. আমরা একটা সপ্তাহ বাদ দিয়ে we have now shooting it for the week beginning 23rd of uh, March 2015. At the market last week went for a correction, was in a corrective mode and went for a correction, and Nifty cash closed about 8570. What has happened is it has broken an important level of 8640, and I suspect that you see the budget rally started from a low of roughly 8650 and then took a new high about close to 9200. Having broken that, though there's a high top pattern, I think the next tangible support should be around 8450, which is about 120 points down from here. But question is whether it will do so. Because you see, the main reason for the fall in the market is basically March income tax, long-term, short-term gain, loss considerations. I think the mutual funds have done a good job, and a lot of people would have gone for redemption, leading to sell-off by mutual funds. But then, while these are theoretical propositions, the actual figures pertaining to mutual fund selling or FI selling are not that much, which can attribute towards a fund-based selling. But what could have happened is the local operators would have, in anticipation of FIs moving into India in a large way, would have warehoused stocks. So post-budget, because of the US interest rate hike, FOMC meet and other things came up, there was really hardly any trigger remaining for an upward movement, which necessarily meant that the warehoused positions of the local operators got sold into, because I would suspect that they would have bought it with borrowed money, and during March the borrowed money has to be repaid and re-entered somewhere around April. I think that process is continuing, and that's precisely why the sell-off in mid-cap, small cap, as well as large cap has happened. So there is a structural understanding and fundamental understanding of the market. How long will it continue is anyone's guess. Technically, yes, at about 8450 we would have a double bottom in cash Nifty, which would be fair enough for considering that as a support. If that takes place, then we will have a reversal. How good is the chance of a reversal right from here? I don't see much of chance, but you never know the market. But there will be pockets of bullishness even within the large caps. In the meantime, there are questions which has come up, and I would like to take the question from Orko Prabhat De, trying to understand whether Nifty can come near 8315, which is a gap area, and also is about a Fibonacci retracement level. Yes, Orko, it can happen. I will not concentrate on that. It can happen. I will not consider that. I would rather look for stock specific stories which might be great buys while the Nifty corrects. Assuming Nifty makes a reversal from here, I don't see it moving beyond 8740-50. So again it will be sell and rise. That was what my theme was of the last newspaper last week when I wrote that. The theme is sell and rise, which worked very well last week. Obviously there would be pockets of exclusive bullishness. Shondip has sent me a query regarding KPIT, which has moved down. And whether it's a good buy. And he also knows that it has broken 200 days, not 200 days, it has broken the strong support of rupees 200. So if you know, Shondip, that a strong support of 200 has got broken, why haven't you sold? See, and if you understand the subject, please do implement your understanding. It can come down to about 185, and the worst case scenario would be 165 KPIT. But then I would be a buyer. And you have also mentioned about negative cross-currency impact. Actually, these are fashionable statements made by various press, analysts, and some of them starts becoming a very nice branding. It is only very recently that the currency segment has been allowed and opened for retail investors for trading. And all these years, it was only through the banks, and that too against actual currency earnings. So KPIT existed at that point of time, and Infosys existed at that point of time, and TCS did business at that point of time, and no one would have said cross currency. So all these cross currencies and border currencies are basically bullshit as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, I don't think you should look at that. We will further develop on KPIT. Just a minute. So KPIT is a good stock like Hexaware. It's good to buy at lower levels. Now, Shuman Das from Malda has bought Titagar wagons at the rate of 780. For 3-4 years. Should I add more at lower level or exit at higher level? Exit is always at higher level. and adding is always at the lower level. So you know that, except that you know we have not done it. But Titagarh wagons is 780 rupees. এত দাম বেড়ে গেছে। Okay, it went to 870 and now it's 550 or 570. I was telling someone, see what has been there in the budget that Titagarh wagons from 350 should become 850. So much of wagons have not been ordered. It is a market exuberance that has created to that price. Now add somewhere around 550 and also add somewhere around 450 since you have bought at 780. The best of Titagarh wagons has happened for 2015, I can guarantee you that. This is typically my seminar of November 2014. Definitely my Titagarh wagons was there and the price was 300. So I had a logic about Titagarh wagons at that seminar. But I am having a seminar today when you are all watching this YouTube. I would not dare to recommend Titagarh wagons even at 550. I'll wait. All these budget policies takes huge time to implement. Oh, another Satyajit Das from Bardhaman is the same issue. Again Titagarh wagons. ওয়াগনে চালান হয়ে গেছে, মালগাড়ি অনেক অনেক দূর অবধি যাবে, বসে থাকুন মালগাড়ির মধ্যে। এগুলো সুপার ফাস্ট ট্রেন নয়। And anyway, there has not been anything substantial in the railway budget to suggest that they are a buy at high levels. They are not a buy at high levels. Esho, esho. Shanta. চলে যাও, বসে বসে, আমি একটু ইউটিউব শুট করছি, nothing serious. So it's the case of buying at the top of momentum, which always happens. We make these mistakes. But then you have to find out what are you buying at the top of the momentum. A momentum created in a stock from 300 rupees to 850 levels. Now you are buying at 800. So 500 rupees is already momentum created. So I have to only suggest that you have to wait. You have to add on, and I've given you the levels of add on. Now coming back to the market for this week, as I explained on Nifty, we have to now understand that all the books adjustments will have to take another 10 days. Rather, I would say up to 27th of March, because the sale of 27th March, the deliveries will be affected on 30th March, which will take delivery sale for accounting year 2014-15, and that is okay with income tax. So effect টা 27 তারিখ অবধি থাকবে, especially in mid caps and small caps, যেখানে একটা হিউজ প্রফিট হয়েছে। এটা প্রত্যেক বছর হয়, every year it happens, so there is nothing new about it. Now comes what happens post March. Well, we will have next week's program, where by which time I will be able to gauge. But as I said, we are looking at Nifty, cash Nifty, support. Now I'd like to show you the charts, what I am looking at the charts. Now this is the chart of CNX Nifty and cash spot Nifty, as we call it. What has happened, you see the movement started pre-budget from this point, which had a low of 8516. and made a higher bottom and made a higher top. So this portion of the trend was very perfect. Now the budget happened. Post budget there had been some kind of a euphoria, and it negotiated the earlier top and crossed that. So 8999 was the earlier top, which is 9,000. It broke that. What happened in the process of breaking? It had broken the earlier double top of this area, which is 8626. So this double top had a fall up to from 8626 to about 8026. তার মানে 600 পয়েন্ট। তো আমরা এই টপ থেকে অলরেডি প্রায় 600 পয়েন্ট পড়ে গেছি। So it has done its job. The failure of this double top and now the failure of the earlier double top here, after having fallen 600 points, the more or less situation is under control. Now what it could do is that take a support of this earlier bottom and make a perfect double bottom, and what you call it, a completion of head and shoulder pattern without the neckline having been without the shoulder having been broken. Now you could say that there are smaller head and shoulder patterns, but I would like to go for the larger head and shoulder pattern. I'll take this as a head, I'll take it as one of this shoulder. So I would expect this shoulder to get completed somewhere around 8470, and that's about 100 points lower from the particular point. That's the way I would like to look at the chart. Now obviously if there are reversals for gap ups for external reasons, that will be met with huge selling pressure somewhere around. Now we are at 8570. I think this double top area would be more or less 8750 will become a huge resistance point and a support zone, a supply zone. So that's how the Nifty chart is looking to me. I'm not looking at these kind of gaps. I'm not looking at these kind of gaps right now. Let the shoulder get broken, the gaps are going to be met. But এখনো তো হয়নি, তাড়াহুড়ো কি আগে থেকে অ্যান্টিসিপেট করার কোনো দরকার নেই। আমরা 600 পয়েন্ট অলরেডি পড়েছি। So we have done basically our job, and I think that's the way the pattern. Now if we go by a pure trend analysis, and if you are saying that the long-term trend from May is like this, so we are near the trend line, support of 8500. So that way also there could be some kind of things. I mean, I like to put this bit. No, I would like to draw a better trend line. Okay, I'll take this. I'll take this. Yeah, so that trend line is broken. So the other trend line would be this. এটার কাছে আছে. So we are near that trend line. So one trend line has broken. So maybe the reversal will have a supply zone of the higher end of the trend line. On the reckoning of moving averages and all, well, moving averages are broken. Now let's look at a important moving. Let's say 50. What's 50 doing? We have just broken 50, but 50 is flat, no angular movement. So I would like to ignore. Let's see 100. We are 100 here at 8450. So between 100 and 550 we are there. Short-term moving average obviously broken. That's not the issue. We are still looking at long-term moving average. So that was Nifty for you, and I think that's the way you would like to interpret Nifty. Obviously you would be asking that what is the stock for the next week. এই ঘুরে ফিরে বাংলা হচ্ছে আপনাদের যে স্টক ফর দ্য নেক্সট উইকটা আপনাদের লাগে। আচ্ছা, একটা ফাটকা করা যাক। লেটস ডু ওয়ান ট্রেড, দ্যাট ইজ ইয়েস ব্যাংক। আমরা ইয়েস ব্যাংক করতে পারি। 27 March is coming into Nifty. So would the operators take an advance position? Yes. What is the stop loss? 820. What are the other stop losses? 802. What is the current price? 832. So you have an option. Suppose the market falls and you find that it's not falling below 820, take a position with 818 a stop. When you 2 taka stop use for it, 4 taka, whatever it is. And it touches 802. 802. See, Yes Bank still is valuation wise is much more lower. I mean, I think Axis Bank and Yes Bank are two great stocks. I would also add up Kotak Bank because of value unlocking. And I just went to Kotak Bank's head office in Bombay last week, and I spoke to a couple of very senior persons, and I am very bullish on the stock. Of course, আপনি ম্যানেজমেন্টের সাথে কথা বললে একটু বুলিশ হয়ে যাবেন, কারণ ওরা তো ভালো ভালো কথা বলে। বাট ঠিক আছে, ভালো কথা বললেও আমার সাথে ভালো কথা বলা মানে হচ্ছে ওরা ওদের মতো করে ভালো বলে, আমি আমার মতো করে এডিটিং করে নিই। তো এডিটিং করার পরেও যেটা বুঝতে পারছি যে there is a very good scope of Kotak Bank to do very fine in the next run of the private sector banking stocks. Don't touch the PSU banking. They will take time to really get formed and all that. So I'm not looking at that, and one trade can be Yes Bank. If you want to do the trade on the future side, I think we could also play in this trying times, with the corrective times. Not very way of looking at trades are buy into McDowell. So McDowell always is a stock which has got positive divergence over market. That means if the market falls, McDowell goes up. So check it out. As long as above 3850, yes, buy. It's good pattern. Stop loss maybe below 3800. What is a good base to buy? 3650. Very good base to buy. And I think Bell having corrected, so that's it. While the fragmented market, there's no point in really taking a position. Number one. Number two is that if the positions are there, you can trade by selling it on the ad side and buy it back. Sometimes you'll get arrested. That's not the issue. Issue is that as long as we have a stability factor, which might happen during the week, and it should, because the NAV building up for the mutual funds for the month end also is a very important factor.